See brown in your face.
Have you heard of Everything at Once?
Do you know about Everything at Once?
It's internationally known.
Aliens listen to it.
It's the best ever.
It's your regular podcast or daily news. We're feeling a little bit everything at once. The place for you. Check out everything at once and allow it to be a source. It's that raw podcast that's deliver a message. Highlighting the rapper or need to take I-90 to people 79 to the It's here. Forget the politics that's on the FM. Totally in big. You already know where to catch up. So much going on in the EPA.
Incredible content.
Everything at once will keep you up to date.
Amazing guests.
What you doing? Come through and hang with Tony and Dave.
Community driven.
Bringing everything at once from around the way. Everything at once from around the way. Hey.
Please listen. We love you. Everything at Once.
Everything at Once.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is. I hope that you're all enjoying that time. We got a super special group of people here. Cactai, Ethan, Colin, and Lizzy are in the studio for their first ever podcast.
Yeah.
First ever. We are
First
so
ever.
Freaking excited.
I'm super excited you're here. We are like a lot of people's first podcast, so I'm glad that we're helping you guys learn the ropes and do all the things that we need to do to make a podcast.
Yeah.
For sure. We're stoked. I've never done a
Happy to
podcast
be here.
before, and like I've always wanted to do one, so I'm like really stoked.
Hell yeah. It's going to be the best podcast ever. The fans are going to love it. Everybody wave to the fans. All the people
What's
that
up,
love,
fans?
watch, listen, all that stuff. They're amazing. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for coming down here. You got a pretty cool band. I've been jamming out before you got here today during work on your band camp from a Jekyll and Hyde show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're trying to get more stuff on our Bandcamp. The Jekyll and Hyde show was like our first attempt at trying to record a show, and we figured like if we record the show and like just have like free music that people can check out, maybe they'll check us out more. So
Yeah.
Bandcamp's like the best way for us to do that. So
It's definitely a good way to. I mean, you got to have recorded music. I feel like that helps booking shows a lot too. You're like, oh, this is actually what we sound like. We're pretty cool. We're all very talented.
that was the idea, like just
Oh,
to
yeah.
like just have something.
Get something out there.
Right.
Yeah,
Get
for
started.
We're working on an EP like this year, but like we're trying to record any live thing we can because we're kind of like a live band. You know what I mean? We
Sure.
do like a
That's
lot
where
of
we shine.
There's a lot of jamming.
right.
A lot of jamminess.
Yep. Lots of jamminess. We do like covers and stuff like that, and then like try and jam it out a little bit. We're working on the improv. You kind of have to jam together a lot to like really make that shine. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. You know what I mean? But
Putting the time in.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to be like a live thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bands are like that too. Like their studio albums are, I don't know anybody that listens to like studio albums of like the Dead, for instance.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're a live thing.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been like together?
Me and him started jamming.
Like December, I want to say
Yeah,
last year,
December
2023, I was going to...
Yeah.
Yeah. Over a year ago already. Jeez.
Yeah, I met him, and then I met another drummer who I met at PACA, and we started jamming together, and then we all kind of put it together January
24,
in 24, and then we were jamming together all the way up until like July or August or something like that, and then the drummer didn't work out. We got scheduling problems and stuff like that, so it just wasn't a good fit. So
Then.
we knew Lizzy from Logan B and Dirty Leaf, and
And I already liked their music too.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a couple live shows and I was really into it. And I like the stuff that Ethan writes because you wrote a lot of it. And Colin's writing some good stuff
Yeah.
too that I'm really getting into. They both have like really different styles, but it works well with the band.
Listen, you're in like 1,000 bands.
yeah.
I can't believe. I honestly am
damn
really
good.
surprised that like you
Yeah.
haven't been here before because you're
Yeah.
in so many bands.
I guess Dirty Leaf was on, Spades was on.
Yeah.
So I was like in those bands.
Matt Craze.
Here.
Craze.
Yeah.
Matt Craze has
Yeah,
been
Matt
on this
Craze was on,
podcast
too.
like literally 1,000 times
Yeah.
probably. He's like,
Okay, yeah.
At
So
one-
Matt
Fire.
Craze too.
Matt's great.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
one time, I don't know if he still is, but at one time he was our studio musician.
he was our.
really?
I still claim him as my studio musician.
Yeah.
'Cause he used to live like right up the road. He's got a new place with his girlfriend. I'm sure you guys all know that. But
Yeah.
he used to live right up the road, so it was super easy for him to just come over with his guitar, and we would
pop in
do
and throw on
weird
some
stuff
jams.
and record some fun things. He was great. I mean, he still is great, but
He's got a new album out. Y'all should check it out. It's really good.
hell yeah.
Just check it out. It's really good.
We
No,
have
check it
an
out.
album
Yep.
out.
You guys have an album out?
Well, we are working on stuff.
No, I mean, like, I'm part of that album.
Oh yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's really good. Check it out.
Check it
Matt-
out.
Matt Craze is fire.
How'd you guys come up with your name Cacti? With a K.
Okay, so
I
what
actually
we
Because
don't
we're
know the
pricks.
story.
Yeah.
I never asked you what I
Did you
did.
say
Yeah.
because we're pricks?
you said that, right?
Ah.
So
No, I'm
no,
just kidding.
I took this giant sheet and I tried to like take a bunch of words. I wanted like a one-word name, and I was like, well, we were starting to book shows, and we didn't have a name yet, and I was like, okay, we got to think something. You know what I mean? So we took this whole list.
Yeah, 'cause remember one wasn't one Fresh Brews or something?
Yeah,
Like
it
Ethan's
was
Fresh
fresh
Brews or
blend.
something?
It was fresh
Fresh
blend,
brews?
fresh
Fresh
blend,
blends or something,
and that
yeah.
does not roll off the tongue very well
Yeah.
at all. So we
Need
just
something short and snappy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Cacti
Something
stuff.
easy, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had this idea of like taking words and then like changing the letters around, and I was like, And I just thought of a cactus, and I was like, cacti, and then I was
With a
like,
K.
I just
With a K.
Yeah,
With a
right,
K.
exactly.
I'm surprised you didn't put like an accent over the K or like the A or something.
Or an
Right,
A
yeah.
Make it,
somewhere,
like,
yeah.
more-
Umlaut
Or like the
somewhere.
two little dots over the A. Like,
Yeah.
that's
We
one
had
of
to
my
like
favorites.
respell it a few times, so like it like sounded like cacti. But we had a bunch of different ones.
I can't even remember what some of them were.
One was nation, but it was like NAITAIN or something like that. We wanted a one-word name with funky letters.
I want to see this list.
It's not supposed to mean anything.
Okay.
Like it's just like a
It's just the name.
yeah. It's hard to find a band name that's not already taken. You know what I mean?
It's true.
But yeah, we were just like, hey, that sounds good for now, and then we picked it, and then it just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And I told him multiple times, I'm like, dude, we gotta change this.
You tried to change it.
well,
I did.
What
We've
We
done
tried-
enough
was
gigs
the
as
one?
of right
It was
now.
like
so.
Free People or something.
Oh. I
No,
can't
and I
remember.
told you, I was like, no, keep
Yeah, no,
Cacti. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
keep Cacti.
So yeah, we just stuck with it because it worked, and like people were already starting to like listen to our stuff. So it just kind of stuck.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
When you're talking about changing your names, it made me think of Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec and his band Mouse Rat that has like 50 different names or whatever.
Yeah.
Colin knows what I'm talking
Oh, hell
about.
yeah. I binged
I
that
don't.
show.
Yeah, I
I
used to
love
love
that
it so much.
You
Yeah.
can't really change the name now. You got the
You got
we
the
got it.
official
It's
Cacti.
It's kind
Now
of
we
set in
collect the
stone
cactuses,
now.
So
Yeah.
yeah. now we
Funny
have to.
story. Well, funny coincidence. This morning, I actually bought like a desk cacti, like this tall, from Ember and Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize or think or
Yeah.
can make the connection that like I'm interviewing cacti tonight, but now I have like a nice little office cacti.
Serendipity.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Nice.
He's got a
Fun
nice
glass when you
orange.
look at it.
Yeah, I
please.
will now. Now I absolutely will. God, I've been wanting like an office cacti like forever. I like cactuses in the desert and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
I was definitely like when we first started, I was like, okay, guys, let's not mention any cactuses
This
or
is not
anything.
about cactuses.
And then it just didn't
But then
work
I
out like
bought a
that.
giant
Like,
You gotta
cactus, and I
embrace
was
it.
like,
You
Yeah,
have
exactly.
to embrace
Yeah.
it. You know?
That's kind of how it works.
Do you bring a cactus with you to the shows?
We
try to.
I started doing it.
Yeah,
She
I
brought
you
it.
have to,
I
right?
started bringing the other one that we have. It kind of like sits up like this, and I started putting it on my kick drum. And I
Oh,
think one
nice.
other time I put it on like your amp at the
Yep.
Rook, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, why not? I
We
don't know.
have a video out, okay? A new music video, and you can see it on YouTube. It's called
That's
Coaster, okay? It's Coaster, and Lizzy has this cactus right on her drum, the kick drum.
I think it's on the it's on the kick
It is
drum
a-
in the video.
You can check it out there if you want to see. You want to see it.
You wanna
His
see
name
our
is
second
Pablo.
cactus.
Pablo.
Pablo.
Cactus.
This one's Marsha.
This is Marsha.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have many more to
Yes.
come in
Yeah.
the future.
I can see like people bringing cactuses to your show.
Oh, yeah,
like
it's gonna
throwing them up
happen.
on stage. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a
They're
thing
just gonna
for
throw
sure.
That's
plushies. And
Pretty soon we should have like a desert set and have a bunch of cactuses like all
Yeah,
around the stage.
exactly.
You know?
Throwing like real cactuses
Yeah.
at us.
Yeah.
We're like,
yeah, that could get dangerous.
Yeah, right.
You take out an eye with a real
Yeah.
cat.
But
Yes.
I feel like a real cactus is maybe not way cooler than a plushie though. Like if you had like a real like
should.
fucking
should.
official
Wild
cactus.
That'd be cool.
There's a
Just like
lady
some
who
studio.
sells them at what's that? The farmers market. And,
Yeah.
I bought one and I was like, yeah, I'm buying like a few of these.
Right, we're taking them with you.
Yeah.
Keep them around the band space.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So your music sounds really. It's got a really unique and interesting sound. It sounds almost like Sublime meets like a more jammy version of Sublime.
Thank you. I love Sublime. It's so good.
Yeah.
I definitely took some inspiration from it, and we're trying to like do like simple stuff. Like we have like complex stuff that we've written and stuff like that, but you know, the sum of us like like all jamming together and like trying to like create a conversation together in the simplest way possible is kind of the goal. And listening to Sublime, they kind of have like that real simple less is more sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The reggae chunk.
Yeah. I love, I do do a lot of reggae. Yeah, right.
The reggae chunks.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
great. I definitely enjoyed it. And I feel that like I like what your inspiration or your idea for the band as far as like keeping it simple and then expanding on that and then compressing back down to simplicity, because I feel like that is when you're a jam band, I feel like that is like a very, very important skill in being a jam band. Otherwise you just kind of sound like crazy all the time.
Yeah.
That was a big thing we worked on, like
Dynamics. Bringing
and like
it down and bringing
and like
it
looking
back.
at each other. A lot of jam bands, like when you watch them, it's kind of like everyone's in their own little world. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's not really going. It's like the drummer's holding down the beat, and everyone's just kind of going off on their own. We're really trying to like work together as one. That's a nice thing
Form
about
it better, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice mix of the two. Like we start together, right, and then we kind of jam off by ourselves. But I feel like we have enough musical chemistry where
Yeah,
we can kind of do
right.
that without thinking.
Yeah.
And
And we
then we
fall
kinda
in
bring it-
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about being a three-piece. Like you can turn on a dime easier. Like if something's, you know, like she like does a different beat, like me and him can like just jump on it like right away.
Right.
And it's harder to do that with more people. You know what I mean? I would love to add a piano player at some point, but the trio is really, really cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's nice being a trio for now.
Are you guys? Do you like jazz?
Oh
You're
yeah,
jazz fans? Yeah,
I'm a
figured.
huge jazz
Yeah.
fan.
I like
guys
quite a
jazz
bit of
fans?
jazz. I like a lot of Zappa. So
Yeah,
that's the
but-
kind of
yeah.
jazz that I listen to.
Nice, like the most complex music on the face
Yeah.
of the planet. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
but I wouldn't really
Yeah.
call like us complex in that sense, you know, because if you get too complex, it gets like too crazy, you know. But like Ethan said, like we like to keep things simple, you know, and that's the kind of stuff we like to do.
Yeah, I like the less is more stuff. With her, like, she does like the whole like rock beat really well, and she's almost like the anchor for us. Like, our band got really, really good whenever Lizzy joined. Just saying, like she like having like the anchor like rock. He's kind of a
Yeah.
rock bassist. You know what I mean? I like
Yeah.
rock and roll and
We
stuff
kind
like
of
that.
match up that way. Where
Yeah.
we're more like rock, like
The
Led
rhythm
Zeppelin.
section.
There's
kind of
definitely
feel.
like a classic rock sound to
Yeah.
your music.
That's kind of why I like go with like with the jazz rock thing, because it's like we're really rock like centered. You know what I mean? And then we just kind of like take it off. And that's like
Yeah.
the jazz aspect of it. You know what I mean?
I always think like the best bands have to have that like basis of like rock, like something nice and steady, you know, and then to move away from that to go into like jazz and other stuff, would work really well too.
For sure.
But we like experimenting with different genres. Like we'll take covers and like kind of make it sound the way we want to. Like when we that's one thing we were talking about literally yesterday is like taking our covers and then just like playing it our way. You know, we don't have to play it exactly the way.
It's hard to play things exact.
Yeah, and it's hard.
It
Yeah.
makes it like
It's
way
already
more
been done.
difficult.
Yeah. And the closer you
Yeah.
play a cover to the version that you're covering, people just automatically compare it to the original. Or if
Yeah.
you do
That
it
too.
like your own way, people are like, "Oh, I know that song,"
Right.
It makes
It
it
doesn't draw as
sticks
much
a lot better.
comparison
Yeah.
and critical critique. Like,
Yeah.
they sound kind of like them, but they're not quite as good.
Yeah.
But if you do it your complete own way, then obviously you don't sound like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It draws comparisons.
It's kind of like how someone can read a book, or I guess listen to a song, since you guys are musicians, and like interpret it their own way. Like one of the most famous examples I can think of is Hurt. With
yeah.
9 Inch Nails and Johnny Cash, like they're
yeah, for
two
sure.
totally different songs, and they like evoke same lyrics, different feelings. So the cover you make your own, and then you put your own spin on it, and it becomes a part of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so much work to try and make it sound exact. And like a lot of the songs we cover, like I can't sing like that person. So it's like we gotta like sing it like an octave down or something, do different things. But yeah, that's kind of how like we approach like covers. and stuff.
Yeah.
We've been trying some new stuff too.
Yeah.
I made them try some Metallica. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah?
love,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's I'm not like a heavy rock. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What was I gonna say? So they're not. Yeah, he's really not into like the heavier kind of
Yeah.
stuff. He's more like jammy, fish, goose. So,
Right.
but Colin, is-
Yeah. I can
Colin
listen
was
to
on the same
anything,
page as
yeah.
me, so I
Yeah.
made them try "For Whom the Bells Toll," and we
Yeah.
played it live.
Yeah.
I think once or twice.
Yeah, and that's a rule in
It-
our
it
band.
worked. It's-
Yeah.
If you have something to bring to the table, then bring it, and we have to try it. There's no like
There's no rule about like not
Yeah.
that genre.
You
'cause
have
it's-
to hear it
Because
out.
you never know, you know. You never know if
know.
something
It could
works or
always
not.
work.
Yeah.
And
always
it's
make
really
something
been
out of
working
it.
out for us because like our cover of Metallica, what was it, For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Yeah, For Whom the Bell
Was
Tolls.
pretty dope. I thought
It was
pretty
different,
dope.
but
It was different.
We pulled it off and it worked.
Right, because
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not used to playing like really heavy stuff on my guitar, and I had to like change. It like forced me to like change settings around and stuff.
I was actually trying
was
to get
neat.
him to headbang because I was like, you gotta
we
go
did
on,
for a
do
little
it.
bit.
Yeah.
And Ethan, you're doing like the Fish. What's the guitar player of Fish?
Trey
he
on
does
Trey.
like the head thing.
Yeah,
I'm
this
like,
thing.
No, headbang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
going
you're
like
going
this.
like
She's
this.
like, no, headbang, and I'm like,
Like, more.
yeah, right. Yeah,
That's hilarious. I really like that you guys have that openness and that willingness to try different things and
Yeah.
experiment.
yeah, yeah. We kind of took notes. Like we were all in other bands and stuff like that, and I don't know. I feel like this is like the best project I've been a part of right now. So we all kind of took notes of like what we wanted, what we didn't wanted, and the big thing was like really hearing each other out and like not having like this is this way and we have to do it this way. Like everyone brings their ideas,
Being able to work
And-
together and communicate.
and it's everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it helps in our music too. It's not
Oh, yeah.
it's not like with that mentality. Like when we're jamming, it's not like just me on the guitar like directing everything. It's like I have some like she has something to say, and then he has something to say, and then we
We all have like equal input.
Yeah,
There's no,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
you can't tell me
Right.
what to do
Yep.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think that you'll ever like start to define your sound a little bit more?
It's kind of naturally doing it.
It's
like,
gonna
now.
get there.
Yeah,
gonna
Eventually.
get there.
we're
Yeah.
still experimenting on like know
exactly how we want to do it.
yeah.
But it's coming together, I
Just
feel
letting
like.
it go with the flow, you know.
If we nail
Just let it
down
go
like this
naturally.
is what we are, it's like
It'll be too
If you try and form yourself too much into like pigeonhole
Yeah. Like
a
yourself,
mold,
it just
yeah.
doesn't work.
Right.
You know.
you
Yeah,
kind of
for
have to
us,
find
yeah.
yourself as you play together.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
it's working. It's fun too. It's just
So much
really
fun.
freaking fun. You know what I'm saying?
Having that like musical chemistry I was talking about, being able to look over and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
change some stuff if you want just by eye contact.
Yeah, no, that's pretty important, and that's definitely like a big thing amongst like jam bands. You know what I mean? Like you can tell it. Like if you're at a Fish show or whatever, and Trey looks over at any of the other band members and like gives them a look, you're like, oh shit, it's about to go.
yeah.
We're
It's
changing.
about to go down, dude.
Yep.
Something's about to
Exactly.
happen here.
100%. Yep.
Did you know a fun fact about this show is like I don't think we've ever talked about it on here, and I don't think you actually know this. But we're actually a jam podcast.
We are a jam
We
podcast.
have that same kind of. We've known each other for a very long time, and we kind of do the looks too, and know how to
Yeah.
pivot things. Like I just did it right. He looked at me. He knew I was gonna say that.
Right.
It's
Totally
everything.
flip
It
on a
makes
dime.
stuff flow nicer. You know what I mean? If you try and force things, it just doesn't
Doesn't work
feel
out
as
the
good.
same.
It's not as fun.
I think it's a lot more fun to share too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And let other people take control or do their thing, instead of just like having all of the responsibility on like one person. You know what I mean? It's so much nicer to be like, oh, I have like Colin I can rely on, or Dave or Lizzy or whoever is
Yeah.
in the band to like help carry some of the weight as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and
Exactly.
it makes it so much more fun, and this cut project, at least for me, is like a well I'm able to draw from, like just I really thrive whenever I'm like sharing things with others and like ping ponging ideas instead of just like this is the way we're doing things. Like
It's like, yeah, I feel the same way. It's almost like I have to collaborate to like get my idea going.
Yeah.
And
Right.
You kind of need that input, and it builds itself, and it works together that way. And I feel like we work together that way.
Yeah.
So
It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
Like for a minute there, it was just like, okay, we got to figure out how to communicate. Okay,
I feel like it clicked pretty well.
yeah.
It clicked pretty
Yeah,
well,
because like
too,
we've played
yeah.
together, me and Ethan, for
Yeah.
at least
Yeah,
a
'cause you guys are
year.
in dirty.
Yes.
And me and Colin clicked pretty easily because we're
Yeah.
It was like that.
We like
Yeah.
the rock music.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like the rock, those kids in their damn rock.
Damn rock.
Trusty rock and roll. It's the best. I love rock and roll. It's great.
So when are you guys gonna come on the Treehouse thing next year?
Can we?
yeah.
Yes.
I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely.
We would love to do that.
Right.
Yes.
No, you have to
Yep.
play hand drums though.
I got an acoustic
can do that.
bass.
I got a couple
Yeah?
acoustic
I have
We go-
a
okay,
Yamaha
so-
Oh, do you
style.
have an acoustic bass
My
too?
uncle does, yeah.
Yes.
I love
Please.
that.
Yeah.
Please.
I could borrow.
No, definitely. We'll get you up there for sure. I think that's like another good thing for like the Erie music scene for people to have like them, you know what I mean? Something to show people like this is what we are. And I like that I'm going to make you guys all play acoustic instruments, which you probably don't do very
Yeah.
often.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done
Well, I
acoustic.
can-
We haven't together. Like we've all. I
We
assume
haven't.
we've all.
Oh, we should try that. If we have a
I keep
coffee
tell-
shop
I
gig.
keep telling them
Yeah,
we could
you
do
do.
like acoustic shows, and you're like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why not?
Let's do that. If we played some coffee houses, we're gonna do an acoustic show. Okay, lit. But well, I came up here to do the solo show with him.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I got my looper because I'm gonna do a solo part. He's like, no, it's gotta be. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
it was great. I loved it. It was so fun.
I'm like very strict about acoustic, just because like I've had to tell so many people no that like I really have to like stick to it now. So sorry, that's like an established thing, but I'm excited to hear you guys play acoustic and get Lizzy on a cajon or bongos or whatever it is you need. And it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
You guys keep experimenting, but you guys like never play acoustic, huh?
No, we didn't.
We should try.
Well, you've said multiple
me
times.
and
I
Ethan
just haven't
have.
done
We should try
I guess,
something soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acoustic, just to mess around. Why
Yeah,
not?
you gotta bring your acoustic bass.
And I'll have to grab it from my uncle. I used to be in before Cacti, I was in a Dual Identity. My uncle's Matthew Sipple. He's known around Erie. He was in Dual Identity back in the 90s and stuff. And
The name's familiar.
yeah, it's my uncle. And I was playing bass with them for 2.5 years, something like that. But he always knew I wanted to do my own original stuff or be part of another original band. Because even before that, I was in Paper Matches for about 2.5 years. Then I left to finish off college. And then COVID hit. And then I wasn't in anything for a little bit. And then my uncle messaged me saying, hey, you want to join Dual Identity, do a couple gigs? So I was doing that. But and then I left that and then joined Ethan for Cacti and all that. But yeah, my uncle's got a huge selection of instruments and stuff. He's a doctor, psychiatrist, so he's pretty well off. He's got like autographed Beatles,
Nice.
like, signatures and everything, and frames and everything. And he's got a bunch of acoustic basses, which I could borrow. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So how did you guys all individually start like playing music or gain an interest in like playing instruments?
I was raised just on like alternative music. Honestly, I was kind of raised by a bunch of hippies, but I was always like interested in, like, my family was always in music. I'm the only kind of musician in my family, but I had the choice between soccer, a drum set, and swimming. That's what I could do, and I was like, drum set. I want a drum set. So I played drums from like 2nd grade until like 7th grade, and then I just completely stopped music. I loved playing the drums, but I completely stopped for some reason. I can't even remember. And then I remember trying the guitar, and it was such a difficult instrument. I didn't think that I could do it. And then I was a sophomore in high school, and I was like, you know what? I want to challenge something. Like, I just needed a challenge. I was like, I'm going to just try guitar, see if I can do it. And then it just ended up being the perfect instrument. And I just kept playing it, and I could take it everywhere.
Right.
And I met more friends through music, through guitar playing. So I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. So I've just kind of been playing guitar since high school, and it's just always been a part of my life. I've always been interested in music, and that's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So, and I can do it for the rest of my life. You know.
Yeah, forever.
It's the best thing ever. So cool. Yeah.
All right, Colin, you're up next.
Okay. Well, I have a twin sister, and my parents were always big into music, but they weren't musicians so much. Huge into, my dad in particular is huge into like Elton John, Jethro Tull, Rolling Stones, The Who, Elvis Costello, stuff like that. Mom's into like David Bowie, Queen, Adam Ant, and stuff like that. So they weren't musicians, so I kind of took all that info, because on Saturday nights when we'd be cleaning the house, they'd always be playing like records instead of watching TV or doing sports or anything. I always just was invested in the music more so. But when I finally started to grow up a little bit and get interested in music myself, I was like, maybe I should start learning an instrument. I initially wanted to play piano because like I love Elton John. Even when I was like 4, I was like, there's pictures of me in diapers with like Elton John records, and I always was big into Elton John, but I always wanted to play piano, but my parents were like, I don't know. It's kind of expensive to get lessons, so that went on for a while. But then over time, I was thinking about this the other day. I can't really remember when I wanted to play bass, but it must have been like listening to The Who just one random day, and it just kind of clicked. And I was like, John Entwistle of The Who, he's badass. I want to do that, you know? Because you always see people playing guitar, drums, or singing. You never see anybody like playing bass, especially when I was growing up. So I just kind of gravitated towards that. You know?
Important metalhead bass question: how many strings are on your bass guitar?
4.
Oh, no.
Trying to get him on 5.
I've only played a 5-string a couple times.
Should've been like
only I've only
8.
played Ethan's
7.
5-string.
I like 5-string, but
Yeah.
like 4-string is all you need.
4 is all you need.
Yeah.
I agree with that. 4 is all you need, but I feel like most of the metal bands that I like have like 5 or 6.
I am open to playing around with different 5 strings and stuff like that. But for now, 4 strings.
4
perfect
strings
for
is
me.
good. No, that's perfect. Classic.
Yeah.
All right, Lizzy, your turn.
Okay, I never know how to answer this. So, I started drumming back in 2020. So I'm like
Just a couple years ago.
I'm
You're
like
brand
late-
new, dude.
I'm like late to starting it, but I wanted to be a drummer my whole life, and I remember begging my parents when I was like 2-3 years old, and I was never allowed to have one because expensive, too noisy.
Yeah, for sure.
So my mom got me involved in tap dancing. So I kind of took to that because it's pretty much
It's rhythmic.
It's rhythmic. It's very much the same thing the way you think about it. So I tap danced my whole life, and I did it competitively, and I was really into it for a while.
Wow.
And then when I was 18, I got one for Christmas, like a cheap drum set from Guitar Center. And I was so happy. I just started playing. I never had lessons or anything. I was really into Green Day in high school, like
Hell
middle school,
yeah.
high school. So I would just like sit there and play through American Idiot or like Dookie, one of those albums, and I just memorized every single song, and I would play live with them, not live, but I would play along to their live
Sure.
stuff. Then I went away to college in 2013, and I didn't really, have a way to keep playing. So it took till the pandemic happened for me to like have time.
Yeah.
And once the pandemic hit, my nana actually, she has a giant house. And I was in an apartment at the time in Pittsburgh, and she let me kind of move my stuff in there and make a studio. And once I had that space to myself, like I was able to just,
Go wild.
go crazy, do what I wanted to. And I started making videos on Instagram just for fun. And I didn't think I was good or anything. Like I just wanted to put it out there. It was like, I think I did some Metallica, some Green Day stuff, and people were enjoying it. And I was like, I enjoy it. Why not keep going?
Yeah.
And one thing I always wanted to do was play in a band. Like my whole life, I've just been obsessed with doing that. And I started in a band. So I'm from Pittsburgh, from Beaver, PA. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah.
I was in a little like cover band there where I kind of got started. And I left that and I moved up to Erie. It's where my fiance lives. And so I met Ralph Redinger first.
Yeah.
And then Eric Brewer through him. And they took me for an Eric Brewer and Friends show. It was 2022 or 23. It was their New Year's show at the Rook.
Okay, yeah.
And once I played that show,
Was that the Pink Floyd show?
no, it was, we did like one song from each decade.
Okay,
leading
cool.
up to the
Yeah,
countdown.
nice.
It was like 3 years ago. And that kind of got me like, I met everybody through that. And I met Sav. And then shortly after that, I met Logan. And that's how I met Ethan, through Logan and Dirty Leaf. And then we played together for a while. And then I met Colin, and it just kind of clicked.
Yeah.
So
There's like 3 or 4 bands that all revolve around like the same group of people that are
It's
just
so
like
weird.
different
I know.
coordinated
Yeah, I
around
know.
here.
Yeah.
You guys all must be like super close.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The big one was Logan B and Dirty Leaf. Like
that's like
a lot
how we
of
met
things
so many people.
branch off out of that. It's such a big band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a million people.
Like, by the way, shout out to Lone Sav. We are now Santas. We do stuff. We do
with
stuff.
the-
with-
Nice.
So,
Dave
so
Tamulonis.
we're technically Santas. Oh yeah, with Dave.
And we also have
And
Dale
with
with Dave
Sav.
Tamulonis
Yeah. So shout out to Sav. We love Sav.
and Sav.
Matt Craze. What else?
Spades.
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 Yeah.
I'm no longer in Spades.
Yeah, I
I'm
was in
not
Spades for a
sure-
little bit.
Yeah, you were in Spades for a little bit.
And and then I run into him. By the way, I just want to say, I found Mr. Colin on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was searching the internet far and wide for a bass player. It's so hard to find one that isn't in a band. And I stumbled. I was just bass players in Erie. He
Yeah.
must have had it in his bio or something.
Yeah.
It popped up, and I
Might
was
have
like,
mutual Facebook friends or something.
I just went. Yeah,
Something
I
like
can't
that.
remember what it was.
Yeah.
But I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, you wanna play bass?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll come jam."
Yeah, I'll come jam. Yeah.
And then literally, like, he came. I have a studio at PACA, and he came and jammed with me. Literally within 10 minutes, I'm like, "Yes, this is the guy.
This is
It's
it.
like, yes." So you know what I mean?
Found your bass player.
And, yeah. And then with Lizzy, I didn't realize she like kind of like really got into it like only 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
2020.
Something like that. I was like, she's so good for playing like.
I can't
for 4
believe
years.
it. I can't
Yeah,
believe it.
that's pretty wild.
It's been
Right.
that short
So
of
we-
a time.
Yeah, but I don't know. Mutual friends like really just brought us together. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, you know, just the scene in Erie is so interconnected, and it just I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rising tides raise the whole harbor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun working out. It's fun.
It's awesome. And you guys can all work together and coordinate and still find time for like these different projects.
Yeah. Oh, it's a challenge. isn't
It's a
it?
lot.
Yeah.
Like you guys must be like crazy busy like during the week. Like
Yeah.
do you have any days off?
Yeah. Well,
don't.
right now, well,
I need to relax a little bit because I've been
yeah,
giving
you do. Yeah.
I've been giving like lessons in monochrome.
Oh, yeah?
I've been like I have a day job and then I do lessons, then I do practice.
Yeah.
I need to chill out a little bit, but I think.
Yeah, I have one day off right now. I work at World of Music, and then like I just have like technically my job is just like fun. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really treat it like a job.
That's what I was gonna say. Like
So-
we love it so much that
It
it's
doesn't
not.
feel
It
like
doesn't
it.
feel like
Right.
a job. It's just I
You
feel like
know,
you
you
have to
guys are
love
both
it that much
teachers.
to do it.
Yeah, but like it's I don't know. I like if I like being busy all the time. Honestly, over Christmas break, we didn't have any lessons from the 23rd to the 1st, and I was at home just like, all right, I'm gonna work on all this stuff, and then like when I don't go to work for like 3 days, I'm like, oh, I just lost like my life purpose. Like now what do I do? I'm just like I have to like be at my job. So it doesn't make I feel good about the amount of hours.
How busy you are
Yeah.
staying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. During summer season, it gets really busy around here too. Well, hopefully not this. I don't know. It'll be a little bit different because we cut back because we were getting like there was just like too much between like writing and pre-production stuff for the next project that we're doing, the next shorts or series of shorts we're doing. Podcast every week, and then in summer add the Treehouse series every week, and photography gigs, videography gigs, all the other stuff. It was like where something needs to give here in order to give everything the attention that it needs and deserves. You know what I mean? But I totally get like being off for a little while and having like these grand expectations of all the things that I'm going to accomplish and get done in like 3 days, and then end up like not doing anything.
Yeah.
Well, or like doing a part of it and then being like, yeah, I'm done now. Like this was supposed to take me like a whole day, and I'm like after 2 hours, I'm like, I'm kind of done with this now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100% agree. Yep.
So you guys got an EP coming out. Are you recording it yourselves? You going
Yes.
somewhere?
Well, we were just discussing
Yeah,
this yesterday.
we were.
So
Yeah.
the thing is, we have all the recording equipment, okay? But with some like a sound engineer being in the room with us is also like a path we're thinking about taking. So the freedom of having your own recording equipment is you can take it as many or have as many takes as you want without paying somebody per hour.
Sure, absolutely.
So we are not the richest people around. So we're trying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're tossing up the idea whether, we want to keep doing like recording it on our own. We have some stuff recorded that we're working on, or just like redo it at like some
Still in the
other
planning
studio.
stages at the moment, just
Yeah.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
which ones to do and
Right.
how
Yeah.
to do it.
But we have
Definitely going to happen.
we want to have like 4 or 5 tracks, something like that. We were going to do a whole album, but we don't want to release like all of our stuff. We kind of want to release it incrementally. That's kind of like
you don't
the
want to
main goal.
overwhelm people.
Right? Yeah. Too
our
too
YouTube
much
matches.
awesomeness. Yeah,
Right.
But,
How are you guys recording it? I'm gonna nerd out a little bit on engineering stuff with you.
Okay, so I just use my laptop. I use FL Studio, and I have like the old version, and I'm afraid if I update it that it won't work anymore. So I just
Are you using like a Focusrite?
Oh no, I use a Behringer. Oh my gosh, what's it called?
Like a Behringer 8-track recorder?
It's
interface?
It's an interface, but there's 8 inputs on it.
Sure.
And then I have an extra Zoom recorder that if I need to record any extra stuff, I'll just like drop it in the file and stuff like that. So I'm pretty good at mixing. I can't master though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I feel like mastering's kind of a myth.
yeah, yeah. But I'm working on a solo album right now too, and I'm almost done with it, and I'm gonna take it to Ben Waite.
Yeah,
He kind of
he's the guy.
He's the freaking guy, dude. It's like the same thing. Like all the same bands. Like he's one guy. Ben Waite is the guy. Shout out to Ben Waite.
Yeah,
But-
if you're watching.
yeah, if you want, we love you, buddy. But yeah, he's done so many favors for us. We love him. But he kind of knows what he's doing. So we're kind of thinking about going that route. But everyone's input, we're figuring out what to do, you know, like 100%. But we got like the track list of like kind of what we want to do. You know what I mean, stuff like that. But yeah,
Just try to whittle it down and pick the best ones, you know.
shooting for fall. We're gonna gig a lot this year. You know what I mean? So it's just a time aspect. You know, just having the discipline to like mark off things and, you know, stick to it.
Right.
So shooting for fall.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. And that'll be your first album.
Be our first
You guys
one.
have some recorded stuff on Bandcamp, though.
Yeah.
Our live shows.
Yep. All Zoom recorded on my little Zoom recorder.
Hell yeah.
And that one's from Jekyll and Hyde's. My favorite place to play in Erie, just for the atmosphere, is Jekyll and Hyde's. There's just something about that place.
How do you like playing Jekyll?
I just love when they open up the doors and stuff like that, and like the summer air comes in and stuff like that. and all
when you're
the-
playing to like the street too.
Right.
Exactly. People just like
People
walking.
coming in,
Hell
peeking
yeah.
through
I like
the window.
playing the Rook, Altered State, and Jekyll and Hyde's are like my absolute favorites to play. But that's from that show, and you know, I like to record there because it's actually a really good room to record in. It doesn't have too bad sound. You would think like with like no sound protection or anything.
It's kind of
you know.
small.
Yeah, right. And no, it works out
Those
good.
doors being open probably help a lot, though.
Yeah, except when like there's like
Cars and
Do you
stuff going
remember-
on
well,
outside.
there's,
Actually,
like,
the
crotch
first
rocket
time,
one.
the first
It was
time I ever
like-
had you were there. The first time
Which
I
one?
ever had a gig there was
The
Santa's.
Santa's gig,
There was this
right.
protester with a bullhorn that like
Yeah.
came in the
Oh,
room.
no.
I don't know what they were saying.
What is his problem?
But I
They
was
were
like,
yelling
I,
at
can't,
the
I could not
McCoys or
focus
something.
because like one ear was like, la, 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 and then I'm trying to like,
Right.
I don't know why I did guitar. I'm trying to play.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, so well, it's just it's cool. You know what I mean? Jekyll and Hyde's is the shit.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool spot. Their food's super good, too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like
yes.
getting lunch there from time to time. And, but that's really cool. That's awesome that you guys are recording yourself. If you ever need an engineer, I'm happy to come. I'm still learning, but like, if you're looking for somebody that will do it for
That'd be dope.
free
That'd be dope.
or nothing or whatever, and
Oh, something for sure.
help engineer and mix and make sure everything's sounding good, I'd love to be a part of that.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to get more into that. I feel like I do a pretty decent job with like the treehouse stuff, but
Yeah.
like that's a whole different kind of
sounded
thing.
Great on the solo thing.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Usually like I don't think any of them have turned out bad, and I'm excited. I got like a new field recorder that I can take out there instead of my little Zoom P4 because it's starting to like hiss a little bit. I don't know if anybody out there or you guys have listened to like the newer ones, but if like nobody's talking or there's no sound or input going into my like recorder, it just like
Right.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. The same with my guitar amp. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know what to do about it. I tried different chords. I've tried different microphones. I tried cleaning it. It's just, I think it's just from getting beat up. You know what I mean? It's just part of the deterioration of the system and it going from outside to 1,000 degrees in my garage to down here to sitting in the dust to
Yeah.
getting thrown all over the place.
Temperature makes a difference.
Yeah.
It really does. Like
I never
with-
knew that, you know,
Yeah.
until to find out like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
shit. You know.
Well, I think it's just like the temperature changes and all the circuitry inside changes. Like everything expands and then it contracts, and in there it finds that little bit of wiggle room to start to make that little staticky annoyingness.
Recording audio is magic to
Yeah.
me anyway. I don't understand how any of
Yeah.
it works, but it's awesome.
I know
like-
nothing.
I-
Ethan tried to teach me some things.
I don't know. I like it. I like watching these little waves over here. Like that's like all this
Right.
stuff on the screen is actually my voice somehow. If we zoom in like enough, oh my god, we can't do it when it's doing that. But yeah, it's pretty wild to think that like these little waves are actually sounds from things that are just turned into numbers and zeros and flashing lights and pixels and whatever the fuck else they put in there. Magic probably.
I always think like, dude, people like back in like 40s and 50s, what they could have made with a freaking laptop. Like,
Yeah.
If they just were to have that,
Right.
it would have been so cool.
And technology,
You know what I mean?
they'd been
Like,
blown away.
Well, so many people like would get like what do you call it? Held back by labels and stuff like you guys have to do it this way and stuff like that. Like if they were to just like have like a recorder and a laptop,
And be able to do what they want.
the stuff they could have made.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Tape was so expensive back then too.
know,
What you're recording
right.
onto.
Yeah.
Some people still do it though.
Yeah.
When I went and saw Suma Studio with Tyler, they had like an actual tape recorder that people actually like still use.
Oh,
That
shit.
somehow like
Awesome.
technology like hooked up to like Studio One or not Studio One, but like Pro Tools and like this massive like giant fucking mixer, and somehow it's hooked into this like archaic fucking tape
It's
recorder
so
from like
cool.
the 60s. Like these
I think
people
it's got a different sound to it. You know what I
No,
mean?
for sure.
That'd be cool to try at some point
Yeah.
down the line. You know, analog recording. and all
I
that.
love analog. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I know
use-
it's expensive and time consuming,
Right.
but it'll be awesome. There's a vibe.
I'm
to
all
it,
about
you know?
it. I use like this digital delay on my pedal board, and I'm literally gonna switch it to analog because one of my buddies, Dave Tamulonis, shout out Mr. Dave
Hey,
Tamulonis,
Dave.
Downtown
he has an analog digital delay, and it sounds so much better. So I'm all for analog. I think it's dope.
Yeah, I think analog's really cool too. I think there's something really special about actually recording those waves from the vibrations onto something physical versus it getting turned into the magic that's on my computer. You know what I mean? That fits on a disc somehow. That doesn't even actually have like anything really recorded that you can see.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at a vinyl, you like, oh, this is actually like
Yeah,
there's
that's
actually
actually the
vinyl
music
guy.
right there.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got a giant collection.
Yeah,
of
I got
vinyls.
a ton.
He's the vinyl guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm huge into music.
I have
Like when I was getting into music, like from my parents, like they'd have the whole discographies of any given artist. You know, they'd be like obsessive about like every Beatles album, every Stones album,
No, I
every
totally
Paul
get that.
McCartney album, every John Lennon album. You know, so that's just the way I work. Every time I have to get into an artist, I have to get the whole discography.
What does your
So
MP3 collection look like?
I got one of those. Actually have a 160 gigabyte iPod
External.
Classic.
Oh, nice, dude.
You know, I still keep loading that up, and I got a whole other hard drive like full of just
Yeah.
stuff that's overflow that
Yeah.
I just
Same,
interchange
dude.
out. You know?
It was the coolest thing ever back in high school.
It was,
having like an external hard drive that I could pass to my
Yeah.
friends, be like, here, put this,
yeah.
put your music on there, take mine, and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Except it kind of ends up being fucked up because I'm super anal about it. Like all of my albums had to be perfect and like lined up, and I couldn't have like multiples of the same artist
Yeah.
or any of the other stuff that would happen back in the iPod
have to sort 'em
days.
the right-
you have
the
to
right
sort
way,
'em,
you know?
and none of my friends ever fucking did that. You know what I mean?
How are you gonna find it?
Right.
How are you gonna find this
Like,
stuff?
have to be
track
organized
one?
by
Like,
artist,
this is
yeah.
bullshit.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Spending hours on Wikipedia getting like proper album names for every song.
They're
and,
going
like,
Discogs, look at
yeah,
the writers and all
right.
that. You know,
Oh my God.
everything organized alphabetical by artist, then chronological by release.
ridiculous, dude. But that was fun back in the day.
He's literally our dictionary. Like
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say
kidding.
earlier, like you could bring up any song,
Anything.
any band. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
You could sing any like Hannah Montana song, or like
Yes.
what was the one before
They're
that?
forcing me to learn a Hannah Montana.
We get into like random conversations, and you know every single song.
Yeah.
There you
What
go.
is it? What's
That's
the
my
song
hint.
you're forcing
Start
me?
all over.
Start all
That's the one
over.
were
We have to
thinking
learn it
about.
for Colin's sister.
Yeah.
We must learn it.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
But like at any time at any practice, like another band will be practicing. Like literally yesterday,
You just
and
know
he's
every
like he's
song.
like he knows every song. He's like, oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
So he's our kind of like our dictionary.
Mostly older stuff. There's a lot of newer stuff I know too, but like just that older stuff from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, like
20th century
classics.
music. You know,
Right.
There's nothing. There's so much stuff that was released that never got like notarized. You know, because even that's good stuff to discover too. You know,
Right.
along with newer stuff. You know.
Well, back then they didn't have like torrent websites or Napster or anything
Yeah.
like
Right.
that. So like finding an underground like band was a lot more difficult than it is today. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like most of the bands that I listen to will probably never be on like a radio station.
Yeah, you
Which
can
is like
take-
the only way you heard music like back then if you didn't have like the tape or the 8-track
Yeah.
or the vinyl or whatever, you know.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I usually find stuff like if I'm on my Spotify, I'll like pick one song that I like, and then I'll like let it play all the way through, and then it'll like suggest music. That's like the only way I find like new stuff. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that's one of the go-to ways too. I still do like throwing on like a whole album every now and then.
Oh,
yeah.
But for the most part,
That's the
it's
only
like
way I do it.
orchestrated. It's like mostly organized playlists or whatever of like certain genres or certain people or sounds like or whatever.
I mean, I have Spotify too to like test things out, but most of what I listen to is CDs and vinyl and sometimes tapes. But
It's wild.
yeah,
I don't listen to like I couldn't even tell you the last time I listened to like an actual CD,
Yeah.
which is kind of shameful because I don't know, CDs are cool and people have them and I should listen to them. You know what I mean? But
I'm
it's-
always a
it's-
strong supporter of like physical media too. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Well, I love books.
yeah.
I love books
Yeah.
and hate like paper or like whatever digital books, e-readers and e-books and stuff
Kindles
like
and
that.
stuff.
But
Kindles are cool.
I do not feel the same way about
It's not the
music.
same. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
having the physical thing in front of you. The reason I don't collect vinyls, like I have a record player, I break everything.
Yeah.
so
It's a rabbit hole
I'm
too.
right. I collect CDs. I think it's so cool to like just put it on in my car. You know, like I have a CD player in my car. I really like having that, but you know.
See, I miss my CD player in my car. When I got my new Jeep, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to listen to CDs.
I
all the
still
time.
think like CDs are the most versatile because they're portable, they sound great. You could rip the audio right off them to your
Yeah.
iPod or
Right.
computer, whatever.
They're pretty versatile.
Yeah,
I
In
got
that
about
respect.
small, you know.
I got
Yeah.
about 150, 200
Dave still has
in
a
my
bunch in his car.
Oh god, yeah. But
In the binder.
I would drive you guys nuts though because
His are a mess, dude.
mine are a mess. And well, this is the thing. Like I have all of the cases still. Like I have
Oh,
a book,
nice.
but I have like the CD cases. But like when I'm driving, if I'm sick of listening to something, I just grab something, switch it. You know. So like the CDs
Oh, I
aren't
can
going
do
back
that.
in the right cases. So I have no idea what. Like
Where
I'll just be
anything
like
is.
randomly be like,
Yeah.
oh, I just like I have this. One of my favorite live albums was is Jimi Hendrix Berkeley.
Hell yeah.
And
I was just listening to Hendrix yesterday.
and just the other day, I was like cleaning my car, and I was like, "Oh, there's a CD, case
Yeah.
under the seat," and it was like a Killers, CD, and I opened it up, and I was like, "Holy shit, there's my
Hendrix.
Jimmy record, Jimi Hendrix
There's-
CD." Like,
But I like having your phone. Like I can search up any song I want on Spotify. Is almost like I feel like too spoiled sometimes. So like I'll just like literally just turn the radio on and just like listen.
Sometimes
to
I
what's-
do listen to the radio still.
me too.
It's
Never
just like
listen to the
it
radio.
takes that like, oh, I gotta search for something to listen to. Like if you just like throw something on and just listen to it, it's like a refreshing
Yeah.
thing. You know that I
I agree.
Yeah.
I like
like-
90.5.
Yeah.
I'll still listen to them from
Yeah.
time to time.
I listen-
WQLN.
WEO.
Yeah, WQLN.
I was listening to 104.3, but it's like R&B now, which is still cool. But that's
Yeah.
like the hip hop station. I don't love Spotify or like I listen to YouTube because I'm a dinosaur. But but like I like throwing on the radio or doing something like that because it's like the algorithm. Like
Yeah.
even if it's different artists, it's the same like general type of music that's getting fed through, and I'm not listening to anything new if I'm just listening to my Spotify or
Yeah,
my YouTube.
exactly.
You get
know?
stuck in
Yeah.
the ruts.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You gotta break out.
I got all my CDs stolen like
shit.
1,000 years ago when I was in high school, and there were like a big fucking binder of like literally
Oh, no.
a million CDs.
No.
And after that, I just like could not collect CDs anymore because it was just such a
Just remind
devastating
ya.
blow.
We used to go.
Well, like what am I gonna
Oh,
do now?
man.
I'm like completely fucked. You know what I mean? I have
Yeah.
no music anymore,
Ah.
so nobody's able to steal my MP3s if I put them on an external hard drive and keep it locked away in a safe in my.
Right. Yeah.
That I'm not telling you where it is actually.
We used to go to Best Buy every Tuesday because Tuesday used to be the drop day for CDs and just buy. I was listening to more rap music back then in high school, but every Tuesday we'd buy the new rap albums, regardless of who they were buying, listen to them and decide whether they were trash or not. But
You
That's
guys
pretty
have
dope.
I miss those
FYE.
days. Oh,
Yeah,
we had
did.
one.
That was
yeah.
the store we went to.
There's still one that exists, but
There
they
is,
don't really
yeah.
sell like
no,
CDs
I remember
anymore.
one. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about this. FYI used to have such a big selection of like weird
Yeah.
stuff, like
Sure.
stuff you wouldn't find anywhere else. You know, like cool stuff
Me and my
though.
friends would pick out like a random
Yeah.
CD when we go there for fun. They'd have like 2-cent, like 5-cent CDs.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what
I
I'm
might be
talking
showing
about?
my age, but do you guys remember Media Play?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God,
That was
yeah.
my favorite
yeah.
place.
It was next to Party City.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that big wall of tea,
Back-
like
oh,
that
yeah.
big wall of TVs
We'd
with
go
Britney
to
Spears and
we'd
stuff
go
on
to
it.
Hills and then
Yeah,
the
and the
media
Walmart that
play.
used to be there.
Love that place.
Right.
Place was awesome.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going all the way back down memory lane.
Yeah.
So you guys are you gonna make a vinyl for your new CD?
We should.
We should.
I'm
Definitely
down.
should.
Like,
Yeah.
you got so many options now. You can literally go on the internet. Like, Tyler Smilo, he's got a vinyl, and it's super freaking cool.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
By the way, go check
Yeah.
out Tyler Smilo's album. It's freaking
Yeah, check out his new
lit.
episode too. There's a
It's
fucking
lit.
crazy song at the end of it
Yeah.
too. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys
Yeah.
have listened to it yet, but
good.
there's like a secret debut fucking cover song at the end of it in like the last 3 minutes of it.
Yeah.
It sure is, and it's a fantastic.
It's
cover
super
song.
cool.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing that too. Like, just to, get on the internet and be like vinyl, just have it made.
Physical.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah,
Have
Tyler's
somebody
lit.
drop it.
Tyler's really lit, actually.
He's a homie for sure. enough talking about how famous my former roommate and friend Tyler Smilo is.
God,
This
really,
is about you guys.
Yes.
really the godfather of this podcast.
The low key godfather of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is about you guys though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's your special moment, dude. It's your
Thank
first podcast.
I'd feel amazing.
My man.
Yeah. I hope you guys have, enjoyed
Gotten
the
to the
process.
groove.
It's
You
so
know what I
fun.
mean?
Dude.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's
dude.
chill.
I'm sorry.
See, everybody comes here and then they're like, I'm going to start a podcast now.
We should start.
I do have one.
See what I'm saying?
I got one mic, and I did think about doing like something fun
we
for
could.
YouTube. But
could.
yep, $300 more. We get another mic, and we
You
can do
inspired
it.
us. We're gonna-
$300 more for another mic?
I think I paid $300 for my SM7B.
Dude. Well, yeah. For an SM7B, it's about $300 or $400.
Yeah.
You don't need that much of a mic, though.
Yeah, I want them to match though.
I know what you mean. I mean, you see, we got
They
here.
gotta match.
Well, we got
Yeah,
Colin with
except
our off mic
Oh
today.
yeah.
But usually we only have 4 people.
Just,
But
just anal that. I don't know.
no, I totally get it, dude. I get it for sure. SMBs are super nice mics, though.
Yeah,
That can't go wrong.
no, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I've never done a podcast before. It's different.
You guys
This is
are
fun.
you guys
Now
are
you
like
have-
naturals.
Yeah, dude, you're pros.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we have some people come up here, dude. I won't say their names, but you guys all know who you are. That
Tyler. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
No, it's super fun. Super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So-
I was definitely nervous.
yeah.
Oh, you guys
No,
are
well,
killing it.
thank you guys for coming, dude. It's been amazing. We've had a super good time.
Yeah.
Good luck on your EP. Let
Thank
me know
you.
if you need an engineer to come in and help
Yes.
out and do whatever you need to. You can borrow some. I can bring shit. I have tons of fucking recording shit that I don't use as much as I should. So
Oh yeah.
let me know. We'll
Yeah.
figure something out.
We can nerd out.
We can nerd out and get real weird because
Another set of ears never hurts.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks for
everybody for
having us.
watching.
Thank you so much,
listening.
guys.
You guys are all
See ya.
amazing, and have a great night, morning, whatever. Peace.
Bye. Adios.